or ashamed to talk to the person at the fine dining restaurant or working at the wine bar and to ask them, hey, I like this and I want to spend X amount of dollars.
Okay.
That's their job.
Oh, okay. So if I said I like a whatever, fill in the blank, and I don't want to spend more than $50 for a bottle.
Yep.
What would you recommend?
Yep.
Welcome to High Trust Professionals, a podcast where we interview top industry and community leaders, business owners, and entrepreneurs from across the country. Hear what it takes to build trust, be a respected leader, be productive, and win your day. Sit back and relax as we dive into another episode of High Trust Professionals podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of High Trust Professionals podcast. I'm your host, Lynette Arrasmith, with my friend Meghan Russo.
Yes.
Did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so Meghan, thanks for being here.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. So a little background on Meghan. Meghan is, I call her a wine guru, but she's really the owner and founder of a company called Pour Decisions Wine. Pour as in I'm pouring.
Yes.
Not I'm poor.
No, P-O-U-R.
Yes, Pour Decisions Wine, which I think is so cool.
Thank you.
So, like so many of our guests, we met at we were networking.
Yeah.
And then we connected again through our mutual friend and fellow connector, Rhonda, at her business, 5 Salon.
Mm-hmm. That was a fun event.
Rhonda, did you see what I did there? Gave you a little something. And yeah, it was a fun event,
Yes.
open house anniversary, and which was great. And so first, what I like to do is just tell our audience a little bit about you.
Okay.
And so I did a little poking around on your website.
Uh-huh.
So for our guests, again, pourdecisions-wine.com.
Yes.
And I discovered some things that I didn't know about you.
Okay.
You began your journey in New York City.
Yes.
New York City. At the Institute of Culinary Education.
Yeah.
Which it looks to me like you studied your tail off to receive your official certification
Yes.
as a specialist
Yeah.
of wine, right? You're a certified specialist of wine.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so culinary education.
Yes.
Give us just a little.
It was just a wine class. My husband's really the cook in the family, although I cook dinner 90% of the time and I hate it every time I'm doing it. But so I was taking wine classes there.
Because if you don't like to cook, you might as well drink wine.
Exactly. I'm really good at drinking the wine and pairing the wine with the dinner that he cooks.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah. So I was taking classes there because I was living in New York City. So I moved to Omaha in 2017.
Okay.
So I was living in New York City and then, enjoyed wine and thought maybe I can learn a little more about it so that I don't just look like a lush.
Oh, wino.
So
I'm an educated lush.
Yes. But the classes at the Culinary Institute are great because they always pair it with food and things for you because they have all of the students there.
Yeah.
So it's like a big 2-for-1.
So we'll get kind of in, I'm real curious, how you decide what to take when someone has a tasting and how you decide what to pair. So we'll get to that.
Okay.
But I just thought that was so interesting.
Yeah.
And
New York.
So let's talk wine. That's why we're here. So how long did that take? How long have you been studying wine?
Over a decade.
Oh.
There's a lot with wine. It's endless.
That's a long time.
I know. It's always changing. They're always adding. They're always adjusting. There's so much information. Even people that it is 100% their whole career that just grow up with wine, that still could be the most knowledgeable wine person that you'll ever meet, will still tell you that they are still learning.
Wow. Well,
so a decade is good, but there's still so much more.
Well, and so one of the reasons that I thought this would be such a fun conversation is because, people think I'm going to go to a wine tasting or I'm having a wine party at my house. I don't think the average person realizes that it's not just you're going to run to Costco and buy 10 bottles of wine and I'm just going to pour you wine while you drink. It's a process. It's an education. and you help with those decisions based on likes and dislikes, right?
Yeah.
So I think that was amazing. So let's start with pet peeve. Like, what's one of your biggest pet peeves? Like, what comes to my mind is maybe, and I'm so guilty of this, like the mispronunciation of a type of wine.
Yes. Yeah. So again, it's very confusing. The wine world is very confusing, which is most of the reason why I started this business. So like Viognier, a lot of people don't understand Viognier because it's Viogner, like
Vigo.
Yeah, it looks like
yeah.
Vogner, but it's not. It's Viognier. And also like sommelier. So everybody knows the word sommelier, but nobody knows how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
So it's sommelier, like yay, wine.
And so, because I just go cab, Pinot.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy. Chard.
Sure, that's all fine. Another pet peeve is sparkling wine.
Yes.
Everybody calls sparkling wine champagne.
It's not.
It's not all champagne. And that's totally okay that you don't know it. The wine world is very confusing, but not all sparkling is champagne. So whenever I am pouring a sparkling, I do try and just tell people like, this is a sparkling as opposed to this is a champagne. It has to be from the Champagne region of France. It has to be a sparkling wine from that region to be a champagne.
Oh, that was my next question. Like, how do you know? Because, if you're just, again, that average person who says, well, I like something that's bubbly.
Yes.
I want something that pops and has a little fizz.
Great. Call it bubbles. Call it fizz. Call it sparkling.
But it's not all champagne.
It's not all champagne.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. And, doesn't the bottle tell you?
Yes, the bottle will tell you. Unfortunately, in a lot of the wine stores, they just label all of their sparkling wine champagne because it's just a term that people know.
Oh, got you.
And 99% of the wines in that shelf are not going to be champagne.
So I think of like if I'm looking for something a little lighter, I might look for a rosé today versus something else.
Good that you drink rosé. A lot of people are afraid of rosé. I think the white Zinfandel of the 90s has scarred them.
I agree because yes, we did that too.
Yes.
Wait, was I old enough to drink in that? Oh, I was. But I think that you'll see a rosé, but then there's the sparkling rosé.
Yeah.
Right? You've got like the Prosecco rosé.
Yes, there's great dry rosés.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, I feel so knowledgeable.
You are.
So when you do a tasting, so describe to me. So I might say, hey, Megan, I'm going to have you over to my home and I'm going to invite my friends and we're just going to do a tasting.
Yeah, great.
What does that look like?
So I will bring 4 wines to your house. I also bring glassware for everybody because I know even in my house, I don't maybe have 8 matching wine glasses for when the guests come over, but everybody should be drinking out of the same glass for the wine tasting, right?
So
even playing ground. So I bring glassware. I bring stemware for everybody.
So I have one glass that I taste everything, or the type of glass for the type of wine?
I have one glass that you drink everything out of because that is okay.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Well, I know that's the other thing is, does it need to be fat?
It doesn't necessarily need to. I have a universal wine glass, so it's okay for red, for white, for sparkling, anything. Okay. The production world, the marketing world wants you to buy a different glass for a Pinot Noir and a different one for a Cabernet and a different one for a Chardonnay, and that's all totally fine if you have money to spend. Or you could just get a universal wine glass. It works for everything.
Okay, good to know.
So I do that.
Make a note.
And then I ask you what you want for your tasting, if you have a preference. So if there's maybe a region you want to study, if you're saying, let's go to Italy, I could bring 4 Italian wines. Or if you say, let's do something fun and let's do Chile and Argentina and South Africa and Australia, I can bring one from each of those different regions. Or if you have no preference, I will build a flight for you of things.
So it's more than just, I like red, I like white.
Yeah, so typically I like to do a sparkling, a white, and 2 reds.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, most people like red. I will throw a rosé in there if it's summertime because I think rosé is great. It's not a white zin. Let's get that out of our brains.
Right.
But I've also done flights where it's all sparkling to help teach people this is a champagne, this is a prosecco, this is this is just a white sparkling, this is a cava. They're all different. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so what's the ideal number of people?
The more the merrier. I usually say at least 4. If you want to keep it still relatively intimate, I would keep it around 8. That way, it's also a little more cost effective that way, because that way everybody can still get a sample out of one bottle with 8 people.
Oh, sure.
So if you want to do more than 8, I love that too. It's just now we're getting into 2 bottles for the tasting per
bottle for the 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm the host.
Yeah, you're a great host.
Thank you. Now, part 2 of this. Hey guys, listen up. Part 2, we're going to actually do a tasting.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for part 2. We'll get that scheduled in the next few weeks. Okay, so I'm the hostess, and I say, okay, I've got 8 people, and here's what we want to learn more about, and you bring your 4. And so do I pay you for 4? Everyone can buy what you bring, right?
Yep.
And so, how does that work?
Sure. So there will be one charge, and that covers my time. It covers the wines. It covers the glassware that everybody gets to keep.
Okay.
And
you didn't tell me that.
Yeah, the glassware is yours to keep. So you always have a proper wine glass in your house.
Universal wine glass. Okay.
And then I always bring some extra wine so that if you like it, you can buy it right there.
Love that.
Right? It's usually easier to buy wine after you have a glass or 2 anyway.
What are you saying, Megan? Okay, so just bottom line me, what do you hope to accomplish? When you have a tasting, what's like your one goal?
I want to teach people one thing that will make them feel more confident about wine. Because the world is so vast and so many people are so unsure how to order off of a wine menu.
Yeah.
Or don't know what to ask for when they go out to a fine dining restaurant. So I'd like for everybody to walk away with at least one tip or trick or one fun thing that will make them feel better, or that they can even brag to their friends about. Be like, look how smart I am.
Like one little nugget. One little fun fact that they learn. I love that. So where do you find your wines? Because as we were talking off camera, I was like, so, anyone can go to Costco as an example and just say, okay, I'm going to buy a bunch of bottles and I'm going to go do tastings.
Yeah.
How do you find what you choose?
Yes. So I deal with some of the smaller distributors in the Omaha area because, yes, anybody can go to Costco, Hy-Vee, or Spirit World or whatever and pick out wines. So I don't want to taste you necessarily on those, because you can go and get those. So I like to deal with some of the smaller houses. I think they have great portfolios. They're just not maybe getting the exposure that some of these other bigger brands are that Hy-Vee can bring in by the pallet case and by the pallet load.
Fair.
So fun things that you will be able to find around town. If you can't find them around town, then you can always call or text me.
Yes.
I can get them for you. But things that you'll become more familiar with, right? So it still might be a Pinot Noir, but maybe it's from a different region that you aren't familiar with.
Yes, I love that. Well, and again, because here's what I'm learning is this isn't about you just wanting to go to a party, which is, it's fun.
Yes.
We've all been to these, but it's really about you being educated.
Yes.
As a business owner, as an entrepreneur running a business, and we depend on you for that knowledge.
Yes.
To help us expand what we don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So what is one piece of advice that you would give a wine lover?
Yeah.
Like me.
Okay.
Or 2.
Never be afraid or ashamed to talk to the person at the fine dining restaurant or working at the wine bar and to ask them, hey, I like this and I want to spend X amount of dollars.
Okay.
That's their job.
Oh, okay. So if I said I like a whatever, fill in the blank, and I don't want to spend more than $50 for a bottle.
Yep.
What would you recommend?
Yep.
Otherwise, you know what you do? You look at that list.
The second cheapest bottle.
It's a mile long. You're like, oh, okay, I'll pick that one.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that person that always goes with, I'll take the $6 glass versus the $23
No,
glass.
so if you do go to a wine bar or a nice restaurant that does have a sommelier, that is their job. Okay. If you tell them a few tasting notes of things that you like and a dollar price, that's their job to get you the right glass or the right bottle. Never be ashamed to put a dollar price on it. That's their job.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
What would advice number 2 be?
Try something new.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
Because we always go to our favorites, right?
I know, yeah.
What about, is it acceptable to taste something and send it back?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I've been known to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, or I'm not sure. And so can I just have a,
Sure.
and they'll say, sure, you can have a taste of this and a taste of this.
Yep.
Okay, I like that. So don't be, again, afraid or ashamed to say,
absolutely,
this wasn't really.
Yeah, especially if you ordered it from a sommelier and they pour you a glass and you don't like it. Don't be afraid. I mean, that's their job. They're not doing their job.
I love that. So let's talk about being a business owner and an entrepreneur, and because I mean that in and of itself is a different world.
Yeah.
And so you decide when you get up, what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, etc. So let's start with, how do you win your day? What does Meghan do to make sure that you accomplish in any given day what you want, need, or expect to?
After the coffee in the morning.
Coffee
after the coffee. I'm a big list gal.
Okay.
So I love to get some lists going. So yeah, if I'm not doing a tasting or doing like a community public event or something like that, it's just more networking, marketing, sending out emails, touching base. My favorite days are when I get with my wine distributors and I do get to do the tastings. It's all research, guys.
Do you need a fellow researcher?
Yeah.
I mean, I work for free. I work for wine. I work for wine.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course you do. I didn't even think about that. Of course you have to taste what you're going to serve.
Yes. Yeah, it's a great perk.
Yeah. That is a fantastic. Okay, so as an entrepreneur, business owner, what's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's deep. I didn't know we were going deep today.
It's a surprise. It's a surprise. Well, but if you think about it, when you go into, no different than someone who's considering a new career in X or a job change to Y, you say, oh, well, I lived in New York, toss, and I went to, and I learned about this, and now I'm going to start a business. And, sometimes people are like, yay, you go girl. And others are like, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
But I like to lean on others who have done well, others who have done.
Well, surround yourself with people that you strive to be like.
Exactly. And so surely someone, or you asked someone for a little advice or feedback.
One of the best pieces of advice I got when I was young, like just started working, and I always had this like, I'm ready to be promoted, I'm ready to take over the world attitude.
I'm gonna climb that ladder.
Yeah, oh yeah, I was hanging on to the bottom of that ladder since day one, like clinging. But my boss said, I can't promote you if I don't have somebody to take your place. And that's your job to fill that role. And I was like, oh, I thought that was your job. I was just here to like do good. And he was like, no, I if I promote you, then I'm left with a hole. So how does that relate to like me now in the wine world? Like I'm out here trying to teach everybody all of these crazy nuances of wine so that you can then go and share it to your friends.
Right.
So that I have to do it. I love doing it. But if you can then take that knowledge and send it to somebody else.
Yeah. You've done your job. But also, don't you think that also, to create awareness also creates a desire to learn more?
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm thinking about, okay, I'll take my little posse of girlfriends and we have a little party and they want to know more, learn more, then they're going to expand their circle and say, you know what, you're not going to believe what I did and what I learned, and I tasted some stuff that's different. Come on over.
Yeah.
And, let's just get together for some girl time. I love that. That is really good advice, by the way.
Girl time, and guys are welcome too.
Of course. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, because men like wine too.
Men do drink wine. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, they could. Now, here's an idea. The girls could do wine. The guys could have their own little beer tasting.
Yes.
Like the old, what's it called? You put a
The
little
flights,
bit,
yeah.
a little bit of something in each one.
Yeah. So my liquor license, I have access to wine, beer, and spirits.
Ooh.
So wine is my passion. But yes, I also am passionate about things like tequila. We could do tequila tasting, bourbon. Yeah.
Okay, part 3. Part 2 will be 1. Part 3, we're gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, that was back in the 90s.
Yeah.
When you don't drink tequila, like good tequila, which I've had, is
Mhm.
amazingly smooth.
I love tequila. Yeah, and it's also meant to be consumed out of a tall flute, similar to a champagne glass.
Okay, note to self, fun fact.
Yeah.
Part 3 coming down the road.
Yeah.
Like we could do another segment, maybe like before the holidays,
Mhm.
and give some tips and tricks.
Mhm.
My gosh, my mind is exploding.
Mhm.
It's not just about wine
No.
after all.
Welcome to a new weekly series, guys.
Would that be so awesome? Wine with a girl. Okay, let's think of a name. Okay, we'll come back to that. All right, so if you could spend, we're almost wrapped up. If you could spend time with anyone, if you could choose who to have a cup of coffee with, who could be your mentor for an afternoon, a day, a month, a year, etc. Someone who's in the business, out of the business, famous, not famous. Who would that be? Who would you want to spend time with to learn from?
Oh my gosh, to learn wine from, or to learn anything
Anything.
from? Well, let's think here. Just one person? I don't think you can just name one person. You'd have to have a nice round table.
Well, okay, a round table. So that is so interesting because usually someone's like, oh, this person. And it might be, one of the Sharks, or it might be a relative that's passed. It might be my dad, who is an amazing business owner. I'm like you, though. I love the energy and the synergy and the camaraderie around brainstorming.
Yeah. And then part of the reasons why I do enjoy wine so much is that it is a very social, it's intimate and social at the same time. If you're sharing a bottle of wine with somebody.
Yes.
So
that.
It's great to share a bottle of wine with one person, but if we can get a whole round table of some great people from the past and present and share that bottle of wine with them, it's great because everybody is drinking out of the same vessel. We're all having a similar yet different experience from it.
Wow. Best answer ever. Is there anything that we didn't cover that's important to you for round 1? Part 1 of 3 now we've discovered.
I don't think so. Like, there's so many things in the wine world. Like, let's expand the horizons, guys. Let's try new things. Let's dip the toes in the pool of wine.
One of the things let's add to part 2 is I want to know, don't tell now, but there's just mystery to me about the value of a carafe.
Oh.
Did I say that right? A carafe,
right?
What is that?
A giraffe, the tall animal with the...
Not a giraffe, a carafe. That thing that you let it sit in and you swizzle,
Yeah.
And they're all different shapes and they're all different sizes. I think that would be a good education piece as well. Meghan, thank you so much for taking time out of your day.
This was very great.
This was awesome. Okay, guys, that is a wrap. All right, to find Meghan Russo at Pour, P-O-U-R, Decisions Wine, you're going to go to pourdecisions-wine.com. If they just want to shoot you a text
is perfect.
What number?
402-706-9001.
Awesome. Guys, thanks for joining us on High Trust Professionals podcast. I'm your host, Lynette Arrasmith. And hey, listen up. Follow, share, like. Please go to our social spaces, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and don't forget TikTok. See you next time.